It's time for another installment of my Three Body Problem Remembrance of Earth's Past video series. As usual, this video will contain heavy spoilers, so you have been warned by the all-seeing Sophon. The topic for today's video will be the ethics and morality related to Ye Wenjie's choice to invite the Trisolarans to Earth, exposing humanity to alien conquest. I will be focusing on normative ethics today. I am sure that I do not need to argue that Ye's invitation to the Trisolarans is the most important event to take place in the first novel and maybe in the entire series. The consequences and ramifications of Ye's choice are far-reaching and incalculable. Her decision is the inciting event of the entire narrative. So I thought it would be rewarding to explore and analyze Ye Wenjie's choice according to the context of morality and ethics. I thought I would offer some ethical assessments of her act based on some common ethical theories and principles. So let's dive in. One of the primary ethical condemnations we might make of Ye Wenjie's invitation to the Trisolarans is her violation of the free will and right to self-determination of every individual on Earth. Not only that, but every future individual on Earth as well. Even if the aliens were benevolent, which they were not, making this decision on behalf of all of humankind was to take the agency away of every single person on Earth. Ye Wenjie used her agency to deprive everyone else of theirs. Her choice deprived the rest of us of our choice. Humanity did not volunteer to be conquered by a hostile alien species. Instead, Ye Wenjie volunteered on their behalf as though she had the authority to do so. It can be argued that she imposed her will on the entire world in the same way and the same manner as a world dictator might. It is at this time that a discussion of the distinction between consequentialist versus deontological ethics becomes illuminating and helpful. Deontological ethics, which is often associated with the philosopher Immanuel Kant, is or holds that the morality of an action is based on an inherent goodness or badness, regardless of the consequences of that action. The notion is that rightness or wrongness is an objective property of the world, sort of like a scientific fact. Just like there's the second or third laws of thermodynamics, object or moral facts exist as objective facts in the same way as those laws of thermodynamics. For instance, in the case of Ye Wenjie, betraying humanity to alien conquest is just wrong regardless of the consequences. It is wrong as an objective moral fact or thanks to an objective moral principle. Violating the agency of everyone on Earth is objectively wrong according to deontological thinking. In distinction to deontological ethical theory, there is the theory of consequentialism, which is also understood as the teleological theory of ethics. As you may have already deduced, consequentialism is an ethical theory that judges the morality of an action based on its consequences. According to consequentialism, the basis for judging human conduct is by judging the consequences of that conduct. The emphasis is on the outcome or results of the action. An example of consequentialism would be John Stuart Mill's utilitarianism. According to Mill, that which is ethical is that which results in the greatest possible happiness for the greatest amount of people. The maximization of happiness for the maximum number of people is the desired and prescribed ethical outcome according to this consequentialist theory of utilitarianism. In simple terms, utilitarianism aims at the greatest good for the greatest number of people possible. I argue that Ye Wenjie can be thought of as a consequentialist in that she holds the harms of alien conquest and the violations of human agency to be bearable injustices for the sake of humanity being saved from itself by the Trisolarans. To Ye Wenjie, the ends of aliens saving us from ourselves justify the means of betraying humanity. If you are familiar with the Marvel movies, the distinction between consequentialism and deontology can be seen in the distinction between Thanos and the Avengers. Thanos is the consequentialist. Thanos thinks annihilating trillions of lives for the sake of saving the universe is justifiable, whereas the Avengers hold that that much harm is never justifiable and completely unacceptable. When the Avengers say they do not trade lives, that is deontological thinking and sentiment. Basically, it comes down to this. No consequence justifies Thanos' actions. Full stop. So basically, Ye Wenjie is Thanos. I'm not sure that's a completely accurate comparison, but it is a very amusing one. And also, I just want to point out how absurd her consequentialism is, given the fact that the aliens have proclaimed themselves to be hostile. And that just brings up issues of Ye Wenjie's intention and her psychological state, which I will cover in future videos, I promise. So in conclusion, I assert that thanks to Ye Wenjie's consequentialist thinking and action regarding the Trisolaran invasion, she must be judged as extremely immoral. She must also be viewed as an example of the dangers of consequentialism when it is divorced from deontological considerations. Her history has taught over and over again that consequentialism is extremely dangerous when it is divorced from deontological considerations. So, from the perspective of normative ethics, Ye Wenjie is an unethical monster who betrayed her entire species to a hostile alien species. So anyway, as a final piece of advice, I guess if you want to be a good person, do not invite a hostile alien species to conquer humanity.